well adájọ́ mọ́tàsí asọ̀rọ̀mọ́yẹ̀ bó bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹja wárú wọn àti kíra wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan láǹfààní àti play orin inú bí mi padà wá ni a fẹ́ sọ̀tàn díẹ̀ a fẹ́ ránra wa létí àwọn nǹkan tó ti lọ ọ̀rọ̀ láàrin ẹ̀yà Ìgbò àti ìran Yorùbá ìjà tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ síwájú láti ìgbà tá a ti gbòmìnira ká tó gbòmìnira ńgbà tá a gbòmìnira tán lẹ́yìn òmìnira lásìkò ogun abẹ́lé àti lẹ́yìn ogun abẹ́lé tó fi wá dàsìkò yìí kí ló fà á ìran Yíbò á mọ̀ pé ìran Yorùbá ló dalẹ̀ tẹ bá nílẹ̀ kílẹ̀ dà wọ́n á ní Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ dalẹ̀ àwọn because wọ́n nígbàgbọ́ pé Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ ló jẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà ó ṣẹ́gun àwọn nínú ogun abẹ́lé now kí ni tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan kí ló dé ṣé lóòótọ́ l'Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ jẹ̀bi wọn ṣé lóòótọ́ ló dalẹ̀ ìyá Ìgbò wọ́n nítorí pé wọ́n change currency wọ́n ní Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ fi ebi pa wọn ìní wọ́n fi ṣẹ́gun àwọn ní Biafra nígbà yẹn ìdí nìyẹn tán fi ń pe Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ ló dalẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ò bá gbàgbé Àkàndá mo ti sọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ ẹ̀ kíyèsí mo ṣe record Ìgbò versus Yorùbá ahead 2023 and beyond kíndà ní pé mo ti dé 123 mi rò pé láǹfààní àti wò ó ẹ lọ wo YouTube mi kẹ́ wò ó mo ti sọ púpọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ń bẹ̀ bọ̀tẹ́ máa ń ignore ntọ́ bá ti jó òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ irọ́ lẹ fẹ́ ẹ̀tàn lẹ fẹ́ àwàdà lẹ fẹ́ àwa ò rẹ́dì láti ṣàwàdà àwa rẹ́dì láti ran ilé tí àwa rẹ́dì láti pè ń ṣàkíyèsí àwa rẹ́dì láti jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ mọ nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ àwọn bàbá àti màmá wa wọ́n lè sọ nípa ogun abẹ́lé tó lọ but do you know the majority àwọn bàbá àti màmá yìí ìwọ̀nba wọn lè sọ mbẹ̀ tó àwa yọmọ ìyàwó lẹ́nu ń pé àbí kò ní dàgbà títí kó fọwọ́ sọ̀yà pọ́jú orí òun ju bàbá tó bí lọ́mọ lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni but at the same time ọlọ́gbọ́n orí ni bàbá ọlọ́jọ́ orí àwọn bàbá àti màmá wa jù wá lọ lọ́jọ́ orí because àwọn ni wọ́n bí wa ibi tójú tiwa dé tẹ̀sẹ̀ wá tẹ̀ ẹsẹ̀ tí wọ́n lè mọ̀ tẹ̀bẹ̀ ojú tí wọ́n lè mọ̀ débẹ̀ tán bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ogun abẹ́lé wọ́n á sọ ilé ìtọ́sẹ̀lẹ̀ sí sáìdì wọn unlike àwa tá a ti kàwé H akati B akati C akati D because ogun abẹ́lé bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 1967 my dear brothers and sisters ẹ̀yin dáàdì àti mọ́mì mi ó parí 1970 event tó lead sógun abẹ́lé ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti January 1966 are you getting me now àwọn bàbá wọ̀nyí ìlú tán bá wà ní wọ́n lè sọ ń tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ majority àwọn tó involve nínú ogun abẹ́lé wọ́n kọ ìrírí wọn jáde ńbẹ̀ ẹni tó parọ́ ẹni tó dìbọ́ǹkì ẹ̀ ogun abẹ́lé tí olóyè Àrẹ̀mú Òkìkíọlá Ọbásanjọ́ tí wọ́n wá jẹ́ hero rẹ̀ àwọn gangan kọ́ lọ́jà ńbo làwọn wà ńgbà táwọn Black Scorpion tí wọ́n ń jà Benjamin Adékúnlé bó l'Ọbásanjọ́ wà ńgbà táwọn General Àní Akínrínádé wà lójú ìjà tó ń gbóná janjanjan ńbo làwọn wà ńgbà táwọn Adékúnlé Fájuyì ń jà so ìyẹn ló jẹ́ kí n sọ wípé àti ìdáyé tán fi jagun ogun abẹ́lé ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo ń tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lógun abẹ́lé pátápátá ńlá mọ̀ mo wá sọ kínní kan jọ̀kan mo ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn àpilẹ̀kọ àwọn ìwé tí Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ kọ níbẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ru wa now ìran Yorùbá ò ní báyàn jàjà agídí àní báyàn jàjẹ́ máa kó pọ́npọ́ ẹ̀ máa káàdẹ̀ máa kó gan máa kọ́bẹ̀ máa kó nǹkan kan no àwọn jagun tàn wọ́n pa history rẹ̀ kúrò ní school káwọn ọmọ wọn má bàa mọ̀ tàn but unfortunately for them àwa tá a ti mọ̀ àwọn abá wa tá a mọ̀ ọmọ wa sọ fáwọn tí ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn wa mo fi ní ẹ gbìyànjú láti kàtàn ẹ gbìyànjú láti mọ̀tàn ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá mọ̀tàn Nàìjíríà kò ní ṣe wàhálà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà kò ní pariwo lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà kò ní lálàsí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà kò ní báyàn jà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà torí pé téèyàn bá mọ̀ ó ṣàgbà ẹni kí ló Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ sọ ìyàwó ló Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ kọ sí ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ yẹn wáyé nílùú Abẹ́òkúta lọ́dún 1983 wọ́n interview Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ máa ka gbogbo interview yẹn fún ọ kó lè bá àwọn rẹ́kọ̀dù lèmi ṣe wá my own is to be on record no matter iye èèyàn tó wò ó iye èèyàn tó kọ́mẹ̀ntì dáadáa àtẹ̀yàn tó kọ́mẹ̀ntì aburú ṣùgbọ́n yóò di lọ́jọ́ kan àwọn èèyàn kan máa ní interest nínú ẹ̀ wọ́n ò lè padà wá ibi tẹ́mi ti rí àwọn lè má rí ń bẹ̀ ibi tẹ́mi ti ká àwọn lè má kà ń bẹ̀ ibi tí mo ti bá pàdé wọn lè má bá pàdé ń bẹ̀ yẹ mọ̀ pé a lè tọ́ bòkú lójú jura wa lọ a lè tún fèèdè kókò jura wa lọ a lè wá nǹkan jura wa lọ. now ẹ gbé tí a yọ̀ kalẹ̀ kí n wá ìrírí Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ nípa àwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò. ó ní àwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò tí wọ́n jẹ́ mẹ̀kúnnù wọ́n fẹ́ràn òun ṣùgbọ́n àwọn olóṣèlú ni wọ́n ń dọ́gbọ́n bá òun jẹ́ sóun lórúkọ aburú kí wọ́n lè ráàyè rọ́nà lọ kí wọ́n lè bá popular. ó sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ lásìkò ogun 20 pounds policy starvation policy àti bẹ́ẹ̀ change of currency abandon property gbogbo àwọn nǹkan ìlú Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa rẹ̀ yóò wù mí tẹ́ bá ti lè tẹ́tí dáadáa yóò wù mí tẹ́ bá lè tó bá tẹ́ yín lọ́rùn tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ràn rẹ̀ ẹ gbìyànjú láti ṣe àìpẹ̀lẹ́ lómi ẹ jẹ́ káwọn tí ọmọ tó gbọ́ tàn gbogbo àwọn tí ń yin ẹ̀yà Ìgbò kí wọ́n lè bá àpanu mọ́ kí n tó wá ka ọ̀rọ̀ tí Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ sọ. Mr. Nwanyawu sọ̀rọ̀ kan lánàá àbíjẹta ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn tàn káàkiri báyìí tó ní Yorùbás are just political rascals ó ní we are political rascals kì í ṣe pé wọ́n interview ẹ̀ lọ́sọ̀ o ó sọ níbi ayẹyẹ ọdún kan gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Anambra ìyẹn Charles Soludo nígbà tó ń ṣayẹyẹ ọdún kan ńbẹ̀ ló ti sọ. ọ̀rọ̀ mi wá lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn Yorùbá tí wọ́n ń gbé ẹ̀yà Ìgbò pọ̀n because I will tell you categorically mo rí àwọn Professor Banji Akintoye tí wọ́n ń ṣèpàdé pọ̀ pẹ̀lú Simon Ekpa mo rí gbogbo wọn tán kóra wọn jọ majority àwọn tí ń bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mi ò ní dárúkọ because mo ti ní mi ní dárúkọ irú wọn mọ́. wọ́n ń pera wọn lọ́mọ ìyá kan náà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yà Ìgbò mi mọ ibi tá a ti tán àwọn lè jẹ́ fámìlì wọn àwa ò kì í ṣe fámìlì wọn òkú ọ̀pápọ̀ mọ́yàwó òkú òrètẹ́ ìyàwó rìsọ́ọ̀sì ni àwa àtẹ̀yà Ìgbò ọ̀tán níbì kankan àìsàrà alé wọ́n lẹ́yà Júù làwọn ọmọ Odùduwà làwa so kò sájọṣepọ̀ kankan àwọn tí wọ́n ń tanná wẹ́bí láàyè ara wọn ní ìgbà tán bá jọ kó wọn wọ́n jọ mọ̀ bára wọn bí tán bá ti jọ lè bára wọn. ìdí tí mo fi fẹ́ mẹ́sẹ̀ ìdí tí mo fẹ́ sọ ń pa ẹ̀ ni pé majority wa tó wà gọ́líbù yóò bìlì pé torí pé professor kan ti jókòó síbi kan ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ kan torí pé ẹnìkan ti wà níbì kan ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ kan ẹ máa béèrè pé nǹkan tán bá ti sọ alright kán má bàa kó yín sí wàhálà kẹ́ má kóra yín sí wàhálà then kí wọ́n má tàn yín gbé yín sórí àga tí ò lẹ́sẹ̀ because àwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò ti ń sá káàkiri sòfà àti Lagos State ò ti bọ́ sí wọn lọ́wọ́ èròǹgbà wọn ò ṣẹ calculation wọn ò bọ́ sí mathematics wọn ò jẹ́ plus ó jẹ́ minus so wọ́n ti wá ń try láti apologize lọ́nà kọ́nà wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé Yorùbá ò kí ń pẹ́ gbàgbé ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣẹ́jú mélòó a ti gbàgbé ní ìṣàtúntì ti ṣe business wa lọ a tún ti ń bá wọn ṣe lọ ṣùgbọ́n tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́dún yóò tún repeat ara ẹ̀ 2027 because ẹ̀yà Ìgbò kì í dáríjì wọn ẹ̀dẹ̀ kì í gbàgbé ọ̀rọ̀ Kánà máa ń dáríjì ní tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ láti 1967 sí 1970 kò yẹ kí wọ́n mẹ́sẹ̀ ẹ̀ mọ́ kò yẹ kó nítumọ̀ sí wọn mọ́ so whatever tí Bánjí Akíntóyè or whoever láàrin ara wọn tí wọ́n bá bá àwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò ṣe so gbogbo àwọn tó ń pariwo tó ń parọ́ mọ́ Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu pò ń lọ àtàkì ilé wọn nǹkankan ìtọ́fà nígbà náà nìyẹn relationship wọn pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yà Ìgbò pẹ̀lú Simon Ekpan pẹ̀lú àwọn Biafra pẹ̀lú àwọn IPOB ńlọ́fà nígbà náà òun ni wọ́n tún ń pilẹ̀ rẹ̀ bọ̀ yẹn the truth need to be told nínú àwọn tán jọ ń ṣèpàdé pọ̀ Ọláyọmí Kóìkì ń bẹ́ẹ̀ ìní mo fi ní ìkọlù tó wáyé ní July 1st ipasẹ̀ Ọláyọmí Kóìkì ló gbà wá. tẹ́ máa wo pé wọ́n ń jà fún Yorùbá nation kò sí ẹni tó fẹ́ béèrè fún Yorùbá nation ńgbà tẹ́ ẹ ní president elect tọ́jọ́ mẹ́ẹ̀yà yín ẹ ń bá jókòó sí kọ̀rọ̀ kan tí ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation ó lè ní wọ́n ń pawó nínú ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation nìyẹn and we are not part of it because we have cause we have a cause we know how to fight our cause. wọn ò marginalize yín nígbà tẹ́ ẹ ní ọmọ ìyá yín as vice president wọn ò sideline yín nígbà tẹ́ ẹ lọ́mọ ìyá yín as speaker of the House of Representatives the number 4th citizen of the country you have the number 2 and the 4th in a system of government ọ̀nà wọn wá gbà marginalize yín and presently you have the president elect what are you still looking for? ká ní Òbí lọ wọlé election kò ní sí IPOB mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ Biafra máa rodò yọ́ lọ mú mi ìran Yorùbá nìkan ni ọ̀gbọ́n ni ò ní làákàyè ìran Yorùbá lódùn tàn lódùn ju ẹ̀ràn sájà ẹ̀ eegun sájà ẹ̀ tí ọ̀tún máa sáré sàn máa jà sí ẹlẹ́ran ti jẹran o ó mílíkì ò sí èrè alágolo ni ó máa sínwín àwa ò endorse politician kankan àwa ò support political party kankan àkọ́ríkọ́dà ta lọ́rẹ́ nìkan yín sẹ́ that was then ẹ̀yin kọ́lẹ̀ gbé ẹnìkankan wọlé ìbò you don't have such capacity anymore. ẹ lè command èèyàn 1000 kó lọ dìbò fẹ́nìkan so what is your relevance? gbogbo àwọn tó gbógun dà Olúṣẹ́gun Ọbásanjọ́ dà Bọ̀dé George dà Ayọ̀ Adébánjọ ńkọ́ gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n gbé ẹ̀yà Ìgbò pọ̀n sẹ́yìn ńbò ni wọ́n wà à ń gbogbo àwọn tí mo dárúkọ ọ̀hún ọ̀tá Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ ni wọ́n including Ayọ̀ Adébánjọ ọ̀tá Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ ni wọ́n legacy tó Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ ní kò sẹ́ni tó ní láàrin wọn so gbogbo àwọn tó bá ní rapport pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yà Ìgbò tán jọ ń rí romance ara wọn on personal level on personal interest on personal gain personal benefit ni wọ́n ṣe é sí so now like I said the other time pé ìran Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ gbìyànjú láti ṣàtúntò sófin ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lọ́tẹ̀ yìí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ṣe mistake tó pọ̀ starting from Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu no starting from Alhaji Lateef Jakande plus Tinubu and co. báwo lẹ ṣe máa gbé agbára ẹkọ́nọ́mì lé fọ́rínà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yà Ìgbò wa ń lanu pọ̀ngàlà wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ti invest púpọ̀ lórí Nàìjíríà àwọn invest lórí Lagos State kí náà invest as if others are just folding their hand as if àwa Yorùbá àti ẹ̀ wá ṣiṣẹ́ rárá pèsè la kàn gbọ́wọ́ ti gbọ́ndò tá a kàn ń mu kókó tá a kàn ń kásẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀ ẹ̀yàwó lọ́wọ́ àádùn ọkàn jọ ẹ̀yà Yorùbá lọ. They are now calling us lazy lazy Yorùbá people. They are calling us lazy people. So kí ni Nwayawu sọ yóò wù mí kẹ́ ẹ wò fúnra lára yín wọ́n gbọ́nà ọlọ́kùnrin ọmọ ogun lọ́dọ̀ wa yes ẹ kọ́kọ́ gbọ́ sẹ́tì wọ́n jẹ́ fún yín ná pápápá.
mo kí yín níbi wo tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ ètò yìí mo kí yín níbi wo tí ẹ ti jókòó bóyá nínú mọ́tò lẹ́wà tàbí ibi iṣẹ́ tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ ètò yìí mo gbàdúrà pé Olúwa aláàánú yóò fàánú wá yín rí. Lónìí mo fẹ́ bá yín sọ lórí ìjì kí náà ń pè ní ìjì ni agbára tí èṣù ń lò láti gba ń tó dáadáa lọ́wọ́ ọmọ ènìyàn. Kí náà ń pè ní ìjì ni ọwọ́ tí òkùnkùn ń lò láti tẹrí ọmọ ẹ̀dá ba. Kí náà ń pè ní ìjì ni ohun kan náà tí ò jẹ́ ká lákòjọ tí ò jẹ́ aláṣeyọrí tí ò jẹ́ àrí ẹ̀tọ́ wa gbà bóyá lọ́wọ́ èèyàn ni o bóyá lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ni o tàbí lọ́wọ́ àwọn áńgẹ́lì tàbí lọ́wọ́ olórí orílẹ̀-èdè bí a wà tàbí àwọn tó ń ṣe ètò bí a wà. Ìjì ó jẹ́ nǹkan búburú nínú ìrìn àjò èèyàn ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo ẹ̀yin olùgbé ètò yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti mọ̀ mí mo fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ìjì mo fẹ́ kí ìjì ọ̀tánu ayé yín ni mo fẹ́ bá ìjì wíjọ́ gbogbo ìjì tó ń jà yín tó ń jà ìran yín ìjì láti inú ìran dénú ìran Olúwa báwí lórúkọ Jésù gbogbo ẹ̀mí ìjì àti agbára ìjì Olúwa tẹ̀rí ẹ̀bá lórúkọ Jésù gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó fi ìjì tó ro máa sọ yín tó wọ̀ mọ́ ṣòkòtò yín tó wọ̀ mọ́ gbádá yín tó wọ̀ mọ́ skẹ́ẹ̀tì yín tó wọ̀ mọ́ gèlè yín tó wọ̀ mọ́ fìlà yín gbogbo èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ṣe ebú bẹ́ẹ̀ Olúwa bá wọn wí lórúkọ Jésù. Ó lè jẹ́ ara ilé rẹ nìjì tiẹ̀ ó lè jẹ́ ìyàwó rẹ nìjì tiẹ̀ ó lè jẹ́ ọkọ tiẹ̀ ó lè jẹ́ ẹbí rẹ kan tó ti tọ́jú ó lè jẹ́ àwọn tó ń ṣe lóore nìjì tiẹ̀ ó lè jẹ́ àwọn tí wọ́n ń ronú bí ayé wọn ṣe dáa àwọn náà sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn dìjì mọ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ dìjì Olúwa tẹ̀rí wọn bá kẹ́bí ẹ ṣe mọ̀ pé àsìkò tí a wà yìí àsìkò tí jì ń jà káàkiri ni ìjì tí máa ń jàyàn téèyàn ó ṣubú lẹ̀ tí ò lè dìde mọ́ ìjì tí máa ń jàyàn tí ó jà àgọ́ ara èèyàn ìjì tí máa ń ja ilé èèyàn tí máa ń ja iṣẹ́ èèyàn tí máa ń ja ìrìn àjò èèyàn gbogbo ìjì yìí yóò dákẹ́jẹ́ lórúkọ Jésù Ọlọ́run tó máa ń mú ìjì kúrò yóò mú ìjì kúrò ní ayé rẹ mo fẹ́ kó o pè mí kájọ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ìjì yìí mo fẹ́ sọ̀nà fún lórí fóònù mo fẹ́ rìnà sí yín mo fẹ́ kí Ọlọ́run ó fi àṣírí ìjì hàn nínú ayé yín kádẹ̀ bá ìjì wí kẹ́ lè nísinmi gbogbo yín lẹ́dẹ̀ nísinmi orúkọ mi ní Wòlíì Rúbẹ́nì Akọrẹ tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ mo dẹ̀ gbàdúrà pé gbogbo ohun tí jẹ́ ìjì láyé yín Olúwa bá wí lórúkọ Jésù. Ìgbàkígbà tí a bá ń sọ nípa ìjì máa ń ba nǹkan rere jẹ́ ni ìjì máa ń fi nǹkan ṣòfò ni ìjì máa ń sọ ẹni tó bá fi jìjà yóò sọ di oh God bó lọ́rọ̀ ayé mi ṣe rí báyìí ṣùgbọ́n Olúwa ní kí n sọ fún pé ìjì ti tẹríba mo fẹ́ bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ lórí fóònù ẹ pè mí máa sọ̀nà fún yín mo dẹ̀ máa bá ìjì wí ìjì dẹ̀ máa tán gbogbo bí ìjì tí ń wá tí ayé ti ń gbéjì wá ìjì yẹn máa kúrò ẹ dẹ̀ lálàáfíà ọkàn yín ó balẹ̀ ìrànlọ́wọ́ dìde ẹ lè pè mí sórí nọ́mbà yìí náà ní WhatsApp nọ́mbà mi òun náà ní WhatsApp nọ́mbà mi 070-84-74-2061 070-84-74-2061 ẹ pè mí lórí WhatsApp á lè jọ sọ̀rọ̀ papọ̀ Olúwa àlàáfíà yóò bá ìjì lórí ayé yín àmín.
Hello there. There's a new marketplace in town called Links of Africa. Links of Africa is a digital marketplace connecting millions of sellers and consumers to transact business. Are you an entrepreneur or service provider residing in Europe, the United States of America, or other parts of North and South America? Then Links of Africa is for you. Our service platform offers you a wide range of services and product packages to sell. Visit our website at www.linksofafrica.com to see the many categories available. We have service provider and product packages for restaurants and catering, which includes African food, African event caterers, and African drinks. Our beauty and fashion category includes barber, African Hairstylist Saloon category and African Hairstylist Home Service category. Hair coloring, hair straightening, treatment, turning, African attire tailor, event makeup artist, headgear fitter, and the likes. Our kids category include daycare, babysitters, and others. We also have categories for travel agents, shippers, and tourism organizing. If you deal in goods, we have categories for African goods market, terminal market, and African stores. Our legal services category include employment, family law, foreclosure prevention, license, auto, and others. Mediation services. Our real estate category include real estate agent. American health category include pediatrics, heart and cardiovascular services. Our entertainment category includes African DJs, African traditional dancers, African musicians, event hall, and the likes. We also have categories for general event planners, wedding planners, birthday, funeral, graduation, and anniversary planners. We also have tax and accounting services, which includes personal income tax. Our security and loss prevention category include security guard, loss prevention guard. Our religion category includes African worship houses. All you need do to sell with Links of Africa is to register on our website. Log on to www.linksofafrica.com. Click on the menu, then click on Post an Ad and create an account. You will receive an email certifying your registration. After that, log in and click on your category of choice. Thereafter, follow the steps to advertise your services and goods. And guess what? All you need pay is a token of $4. And that's it. For inquiries, please contact us at info@linksofafrica.com. Terms and conditions are also on our website, www.linksofafrica.com. Visit us today. Links of Africa, connecting you to buyers.
Well, ẹ já wá farabalẹ̀ káwo nǹkan tí bàbá ìwọ̀n ayáwó sọ. Igbo lè change láéláé, kékeré wọn o, àgbà wọn o, ọkùnrin wọn o, obìnrin wọn o, the same thing ni wọn. Wọ́n ti gbé ọ̀tẹ̀ àti ọ̀tá yẹn sí wọn nú láti lù wọn wá. Mo sọ fún ìlànà àbíjẹta ń pé ẹ̀yà Ìgbò méjì ló wà, àwọn tán bí sáàrin wa àtàwọn tán bí ilé. Àwọn tán bí ń lè lò kúròrò, àwọn tán bí sáàrin wa nìkan ni ẹ máa gbé àwọn Igbo tó dẹ̀ gentle wa, àwọn Igbo tó dẹ̀ dá wa o, and so on and so forth. Now ẹ gbọ́rọ̀ tí bàbá yìí sọ. Ó ní Yorùbá are just political rascal. Ṣé lóòótọ́ ni? Kí làwọn àgbààgbà Yorùbá wá ṣe? Ó ní lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Èkó àwọn ń pè pàdé, òun ń pè pàdé àwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò káàkiri àgbáyé. Àwọn tó ń ṣe ti London ṣe ti London, àwọn tó ń ṣe ti America ṣe ti America. Wọ́n ń ṣèpàdé lórí wa, lórí ilé ayé wa, lórí ilẹ̀ wa, lórí ìlú wa, lórí nǹkan àlùmọ́ọ́nì wa. Kí wá làwọn àgbààgbà Yorùbá ń ṣe? Kí lẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ Yorùbá ń ṣe? Ẹ̀sìn romance wọn náà bí yóò tó jájọ yín lójú.
I saw the Treasurer Association coming here from Lagos. I want to let our people in Lagos to know that on Wednesday I called a meeting of Organization Council of Elders worldwide, and we expressed the events in Lagos. And I want to tell you that we have people who attended the branches in America, in Canada, in Europe, in London, and Nigeria. We have resolved, and I want those from Lagos to go home and tell those in Lagos, we have resolved that never again can we allow anybody to take the life of any innocent Igbo person. All of us are going to fight the person. We are going to fight the person. Never again. We are in Nigeria, and we have invested in Nigeria. Our investments are so much. We are not going to take the question of people telling us to go. We are not going anywhere. And I want to tell those in Lagos to realize that there is no war between us and Yorubas. Yorubas are just political rascals, and we are going to handle them. The elders have directed Secretary General of Igbo Emute to set up a commission of inquiry to find out this destroyed, people are going to fail. Meanwhile, I want to say I thank you for this opportunity. I'm very grateful, and I want you to give Soludo support. Give him support so that he will continue to concentrate on his job and do more. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ìwọ náà ti rí multitude àwọn èèyàn tó wà ń bẹ̀, ọ̀rádúrà àwọn èèyàn tó wà ń bẹ̀. Kí ni bàbá yìí ń gbìn sí wọn lọ́kàn? Ní tí wọ́n gbọ́ ń bẹ̀ yẹn làwọn náà máa pín káàkiri, òun náà máa fi ṣe wàhù lọ́la. Ntọ́ máa wà ní máìdì wọn ni pé lóòótọ́ Yorùbás are political rascals. Náà ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́rọ̀ Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀. N tó gbé mi wá sóde gan-an òun náà lélẹ́yìí. Mo rí mi ò wá fẹ́ kó titi ó de, mo fẹ́ kẹ́yìn náà gbọ́. Interview ni wọ́n ṣe fún wọn. Chief Awolowo, you stand on the civil war. However unpopular it might have been to the Biafrans or Igbo people, helped to shorten the war. Today, you are being castigated as the sole enemy of the Igbo people because of that stand by, among others, some of the people who were members of the federal military government at that time were party to that decision and are today, in some cases, inheritors of power in one Nigeria which that decision of yours helped to save. How do you feel being painted in this role? And what steps are you taking to endear yourself once again to that large chunk of Nigerians who feel embittered? Now listen to response of Obafemi Awolowo. Awolowo, as far as I know, the Igbo masses are friendly to me, towards me. In fact, whenever I visit Igbo land, either Anambra or Imo, and there is no campaigning for elections on, the Igbo people receive me warmly and affectionately. But there are some elements in Igbo land who believe that they can maintain their popularity only by denigrating me, and so they keep on telling lies against me. Ojukwu is one of them. I don't want to mention the names of the others because they are still redeemable, but Ojukwu is irredeemable. So I mention his name, and my attitude to these lies is one of indifference, I must confess to you. I've learned to rely completely on the providence and vindication of Almighty God in some of these things. I've tried to explain myself in the past, but their liars persist. Ojukwu had only recently told the same lie against me. What's the point in correcting lies when people are determined to persist in telling lies against you? What's the point? I know that someday the Igbos, the masses of the Igbo people, will realize who their friends are and who their real enemies are. And the day that happens, woe betide those enemies. The Igbos will deal with them very roughly, very roughly. That has happened in my life. I have a nickname now. If you see my letterhead, you find something on top. You find a fish done on the letterhead. Some people put lion on theirs. Some people put tiger, but mine is fish. And fish represents my zodiac sign. Those of you who read the stars and so on in the newspapers, you find out that there is a zodiac sign known as Pisces. In Latin, Pisces means fish. So, I put Pisces on top. That's my zodiac sign. Being born on the 6th of March. 1966. Well, the year doesn't matter. It is the day that matters. And then on top of it, I wrote Ibudola. All of you know the meaning of that. You know I don't want to tell a long story, but Awolowo School, Oma Awolowo, the school started in Uroboland. In the Midwest in those days, they were ridiculing my schools. I was building schools, brick and cement, to DPC level, block to DPC level, and mud thereafter. And so, the big shots in the place, what kind of school is this? Is this Awolowo school? Useless school. And when they saw the children, these Awolowo children, they can't read and write. Awolowo children. That's how it started, with ridicule, and it became a blessing. And now they say, Awolowo children, they are good people. No more ridicule about it. That's how it started. So the Igbo has become honor. The abuse became honor. And so, when I look back to all my life, treasonable felony, jail, all the abuses that were heaped on me, to coca inquiry, all sorts, and I see what has happened to the people who led all this denigration campaign. Where are they today? Those that are alive are what I call homo mortus, dead living, okwenenya. That's what they are. Those that their lives have gone. So when I look back, I come to the conclusion that all these abuses which have been heaped on me all my life for doing nothing, for doing good, they have become honor. And so Ibudola is one of my nicknames. So I've cultivated an attitude of indifference. I've done no evil to the Igbos. During the war, I saw to it that the revenue which was due to Igbo land, southeastern states, they call it at that time East Central State, I kept it. I saved the money for them. And when they were liberated and handed over the money to them, millions of pounds, if I decided to do so, I could have kept the money away from them. And then when they took over, I saw to it that subvention was given to them at the rate of 990,000 pounds every month. I didn't go to the executive council to ask for support or for approval, because I knew if I went to the executive council at that time, the subvention would not be approved, because there were more enemies in the executive council for the Igbos than friends. And since I wasn't going to take a percentage from what I was going to give them, and I knew I was doing what was right, I wanted the state to survive, I kept on giving the subvention 990,000 pounds, almost $1 million every month. And I did that for other states, of course, southeastern state, north central state, Kwara, and so on. But I did that for the Igbos. And when the war was over, I saw to it that ACB got £3.5 million, 3,500,000 pounds to start with. This was distributed immediately, and I gave another sum of money. The attitude of the experts, officials at the time of the ACB was that ACB should be closed down, and I had a view you couldn't close the ACB down because that is the bank that gives finance to Igbo traders, and if you close it down, they find it difficult to survive. So it was given. I did the same thing for the Cooperative Bank of Eastern Nigeria to rehabilitate all these places, and I saw to it as Federal Commissioner for Finance that no obstacle was placed in the way of the Ministry of Economic Planning in planning for rehabilitation of the war affected areas. 20 pounds policy. What is 20 pounds policy? Well, that's what I did. And the case of the money they said was not given back to them. You know, during the war, all the pounds were looted. They printed Biafran currency notes, which they circulated. At the close of the war, some people wanted their Biafran notes to be exchanged for them. Of course, I couldn't do that. If I did that, the whole country would be bankrupt. We didn't know about Biafran notes, and we didn't know on what basis they have printed them. So we refused the Biafran note. But I laid down the principle that all those who have savings in the banks on the eve of the declaration of the Biafran War or Biafra will get their money back if they could satisfy us that they had the savings there. All the money there, unfortunately, all the bank's books have been burnt. And many of the people who have savings there didn't have their saving books or their last statement of account, so a panel had to be set up. I didn't take part in the setting up the panel. It was done by the central bank and the pertinent officials of the Federal Ministry of Finance to look into the matter, and they went carefully into the matter. They took some months to do so, and then made some recommendation which I approved. Go to the archives. All I did was approved. I didn't write anything more than that. I don't even remember the name of any of them who took part. So I did everything in this world to assist our Igbo brothers and sisters during and after war. And anyone who goes back to look at my broadcast in August 1967, which dealt with post-war reconstruction, will see what I said there. Starvation policy. Then, but above all, the ending of the war itself that I'm accused of starving the Igbos. I did nothing of such. You know, shortly after the liberation of these places, Calabar, Enugu, and Port Harcourt, I decided to pay a visit. There are certain things which I knew, which you don't know, which I don't want to say here now. When I write my reminiscence in the future, I will do so. So, some of the soldiers were not truthful with us. They didn't tell us correct stories, and so on. I wanted to be there and see things for myself. Bear in mind that Gowon himself did not go there at that time. It was after the war was over that he donned himself up in various military dresses, Air Force dress, Army dress, and so on, and went to the war-torn areas. But I went, and some people tried to frighten me out of my goal by saying that Adekunle was my enemy and he was going to see it that I never returned from the place. But I went. But when I went, what did I see? I saw the Kwashoko victims. If you see a Kwashoko victim, you never like war to be waged. Terrible sight in Enugu, in Port Harcourt, not many in Calabar, but mainly Enugu and Port Harcourt. Then I inquired, what happened to the food we were sending to the civilians? We were sending food through the Red Cross and Caritas to them. But what happened was that the vehicles carrying the food were always ambushed by the soldiers. That's what I discovered, and the food would then be taken to the soldiers to feed them, and so they were able to continue to fight. And I said that that was a very dangerous policy. We didn't intend the food for soldiers, but we will go behind the line to stop the soldiers from ambushing the vehicles that were carrying the food. And as long as soldiers were fed, the war will continue, and we will continue to suffer. And those who didn't go to the place to say things as I did, you remember that all the big guns all the soldiers in Biafra army look all well fed after the war. It's only the mass of people that suffered kwashiorkor. You won't hear of a single lawyer, a single doctor, a single architect who suffered from kwashiorkor. None of their children either. So they waylaid the foes. They ambushed the vehicles and took the foes to their friends and to their collaborators and to their children, and the masses were suffering. So I decided to stop sending the foe there. In the process, the civilians will suffer, but the soldier will suffer more. Will suffer most. Change of currency. And it is on record that Ojukwu admitted that two things defeated him in this war. That as the day he left Biafra, he said one, the change of currency. He said that was the first thing that defeated him. And we did that to prevent Ojukwu taking the money which his soldiers had stolen from our central bank for sale abroad to buy arms. We discovered he looted our central bank in Benin, he looted the one in Port Harcourt, looted the one in Calabar, and he was taking the currency notes abroad to sell to earn foreign currency to buy arms. So I decided to change the currency, and for your benefit, it can now be told the whole world. Only Gowon knew the day before. The day before the change took place, I decided only 3 of us knew before then. I sung. Now governor of Cross River, Atta, and myself. It was a closely guided secret. If any commissioner at the time says that he knew about it, it's only boosting his own ego. Because once you tell someone, he tell another person. So we refused to tell them, and we changed the currency notes. So Ojukwu said the change in currency defeated him, and starvation of his soldiers also defeated him. These were the two things that defeated Ojukwu, and it reminds me, when you saw Ojukwu picture after the war, did he look like someone who wasn't well fed? But he had been taking the food which was sent to civilians, and so we stopped the food. Abandoned property. And then finally, I saw to it that houses owned by the Igbos in Lagos and on this side were kept for them. I had an estate agent friend who told me that one of them collected £500,000 rent, which was being kept for him. All his rents were collected, but since we didn't seize their houses, he came back and collected £500,000. So that is the position. I'm a friend of Igbos, and the mass of the Igbos are my friends. But there are certain elements who want to continue to deceive the Igbos by telling lies against me. And one day, they'll discover, and then that day will be terrible for those who have been telling the lies. Ọ̀rọ̀ Obafemi Awolowo nu. Bọ́mọdé ọ̀bá tán yẹ kó bá àrọ́bá, àrọ́bá ń bàbá fún tàn. Ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ ti gbọ́ yìí o, látẹnu Obafemi Awolowo fúnra lára ẹ̀ lásìkò ogun. Ipa wo l'Obafemi Awolowo kó tẹ́yà Ìgbò fi kórìíra ẹ̀? Obafemi Awolowo nìkan ló lànà ogun kọjá. Ogun ń lọ lọ́wọ́, ó dẹ̀ lọ bá àwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò. Ogun ń lọ lọ́wọ́, ó lọ bá Ojukwu. Ẹni tó jẹ́ president Nàìjíríà nígbà náà, Yakubu Gowon, kò kúrò ní comfort zone ẹ̀ o, ọ̀ǹtì tógun tó parí. Obafemi Awolowo ló láyà gbé kìnìún, ńlọ lọ bá Ojukwu, dáwọ́ kìnìún ìdúró, mọ́jà mọ́. Ojukwu takú wọn lé, ọfà kékọ́rí. Wọ́n ti tẹ owó Biafra nígbà náà tí wọ́n ń ná láàrin, wọ́n ti distribute láàrin ara wọn tí wọ́n ń ná. Wọ́n fi ń rajà, wọ́n ń tajà fúnra wọn, wọ́n dẹ̀ ń gbà lọ́wọ́ ara wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n kò sẹ́ni tó bá wọn recognize ẹ̀. Ní Nàìjíríà, ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tó Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ sọ because ìròyìn tá à ń gbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń sọ ni pé Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ sọ pé ẹ̀ ń bá àyàn jẹ tó ń fún lóúnjẹ ẹ sì ṣe oúnjẹ mọ́ fún wọn lóúnjẹ mọ́ ẹ já change currency kí wọ́n má bàa rówó ná mọ́ ṣe é gbọ́ àlàyé láti ẹnu Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ kí nìdí tí wọn ò fi sẹ́ǹdì oúnjẹ mọ́ wọ́n ń gbóúnjẹ ráwọn Red Cross bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe jákèjádò àgbáńlá ayé ni ibikíbi tógun bá ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ kì í ṣe pọ́n máa fa àwọn èèyàn tí ń bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ̀ kébi ọ̀pá wọn kú no Red Cross ló láǹfààní láti lọ nínú ogun láti kọjá láàrin ogun tí wọn ò ní yìnbọn pa wọn tí wọn ò gbọdọ̀ pa wọn lóòótọ́ àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan ṣàgbákò ikú òjijì láàrin wọn. so àwọn Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ ń kó oúnjẹ ráwọn Red Cross bọ́n bá ti ń lọ àwọn sọ́jà máa ń bùṣì wọn wọ́n á dá wọn lọ́nà wọ́n ó gbóúnjẹ lọ́wọ́ wọn wọ́n ó gbégbá nugbó lọ lọ́dọ̀ àwọn sọ́jà ẹgbẹ́ wọn. oúnjẹ ọ̀dọ́dọ̀ àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù tí wọ́n gbóúnjẹ ránṣẹ́ sí àwọn Red Cross ò lágbára láti má gbóúnjẹ fáwọn sọ́jà àwọn sọ́jà ó gbóúnjẹ lọ́nú igbó láti lọ fẹ́gbẹ́ wọn wọ́n ń jẹun jíjẹun tí wọ́n ń jẹun egun wọn ń kàn sí wọn ò rẹ́dì láti dáwọ́ ogun dúró ìyà àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù sì ń pọ̀ sí ìdènà táwọn fi stop láti mọ Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ láti lọ síbẹ̀ kí ni tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn rí pẹ̀lú pa sọ́kọ̀ yìí tẹ́yìn náà bá ra àwọn fọ́tò yẹn ẹ mọ̀ ka egun tí ń bẹ níhà kálukú wọn àtọmọdé àtàgbà àtọkùnrin àtobìnrin Yorùbá ní bébí bá ti kó nínú ìṣẹ́ kò já tipẹ́. so now nípa ti change of currency àwọn ojúkú lù ti Central Bank Benin wọ́n lù ti Port Harcourt wọ́n lù ti Calabar wọ́n kó gbogbo owó tí ń bẹ ń bẹ̀ wọ́n kó lọ sílé òkèrè wọ́n fẹ́ lọ change ẹ̀ kí wọ́n wá fi ra nǹkan ọjà so that kogun ó lè máa lọ sí i. kọ́mọ̀bà jẹ́tẹ̀wọ́gbà lókè òkun àwọn change owó all of a sudden. ó ní ọkọ̀la táwọn máa change owó ní Yakubu Gowon tó jàre orílẹ̀-èdè tó mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. so wọ́n change owó agbára ojúkú bọ́ wọ́n change owó kò sí nǹkan míì tójúkú lè ṣe jù pé kọjú àwà sílẹ̀ kọ́ sọ pé òun ọ̀jà mọ́. so gbogbo àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí làwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò ń bínú sí tí wọ́n fi ń pe Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ ló dalẹ̀ lóòótọ́ Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ ló ṣẹ́gun Ìgbò pẹ̀lú ọgbọ́n ni kò kórìíra wọn bógun ọ̀bá dúró èèyàn tí ọ̀bá gbẹ́mímì ìbájú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tẹ́bi ọ̀bá lù pakú nílẹ̀ Yíbò lẹ́nugun ní Port Harcourt ìbájú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. because ibi tẹ́bi ti ń pa wọ́n jù nìyẹn. lẹ́yìn ogun gbogbo àwọn tó nílé lọ́dọ̀ wa la bá pawó la tún kó wọn fún wọn. àwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò ọmọ gbogbo ìtàn wọ̀nyí ta ni ó sọ fún wọn. ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ọmọ gbogbo ìtàn wọ̀nyí ta ni ó sọ fún wọn. béèyàn bá mọ̀ tàn kò ní lè béèrè fẹ́tọ́ ẹ̀ kò ní jà fẹ́tọ́ ẹ̀. òfégè ìtàn táwọn ẹ̀yà Ìgbò nígbàgbọ́ pé àwọn gbọ́ ni wọ́n fi ń pè wá lọ́dàlẹ̀ títí dọ̀la òfégè ìtàn gbọ́ because orin kan tí adití bá gbọ́ náà ni yóò máa rán mọ́nu orin kan tuntun tó bá gbọ́ tétí ẹ̀ fi di tó bá gbọ́ láàsì tétí ẹ̀ fi di ní òkú tí yóò máa rán mọ́nu ìkan yẹn náà ni wọ́n fi ń ẹ wá wo ntàgbàlagbà sọ ìwọ̀n ayáwó àdàgbà jẹ́ra òfò kẹ̀kẹ́kẹ́ńkẹ́ àtàrí bí agbọ́n gbèsè ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ jáde lẹ́nu àwọn àgbà tí wá sì mọ́wọ́ lẹ́rán èyí ni wọ́n mọ̀ bó kẹ́ àwọn aláìní ronú àgbàyà tí ń fọ̀sán tọ̀ lé kò ní sẹ́ ìjì òkú gbogbo tí fẹsẹ̀ rògbòrò lálùpọ̀n. ó pàdé àgbà lọ́rùn ní kọ́kọ́ ọlọ́gbọ́n bó bá jágọ̀ ló bá dàgbà ńkọ́ ntọ́ bá ní kọ́ ni ó fi tọrẹ. àwọn tó jẹ́ pọ́jú orí wọn fi dàgbà inú wọn ò dàgbà làákàyè wọn ò dàgbà. torí ọ̀tẹ̀ ẹnìkan torí pé kórìíra ẹnìkan ẹ fìyà jọ pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ẹ dorí ìtàn gbogbo ẹ̀yà kodò. ìgbà tó bá Akínolú náà sọ́njọ́ ní pé Èkó ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe bá wí fún ọ gbogbo wọn wá ń japoró nìsín. torí pé ọmọ Benin Akínolú so majority àwọn tá a pè lágbà wọ́n máa torí history torí ìtàn tiwọn kó lè fẹ́fọ̀ wọn wọ́n á dẹ̀ dojú nǹkan dé. ẹ̀yin náà máa wọ ẹ wà mọ́wọ́ lẹ́rán ẹ máa wòye àwa ń para wa sínú. so the hard time tíran Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ jí kúrò nínú oorun wọn. kò sẹ́ni tó kórìíra ẹ̀yà Ìgbò ló kórìíra ara wọn àwọn ni wọ́n ń bára wọn jà. wọ́n láwọn fẹ́ kó lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àwọn fẹ́ gbé Ládìípọ̀ kó lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ káwọn ó gbé lọ sí Ọ̀nìṣà. ọbẹ̀ta could you believe àwọn ará wọn tó wà lọ́nìṣà ń sọ pé kán má wá sọ́nìṣà o Ọ̀nìṣà ò ní gbà wọ́n o Ọ̀nìṣà ò lè gbà yín o ẹ má wá o. wọ́n ń júwèé ibi tí wọ́n ti lè lọ dọ́jà wọn lẹ̀ lọ́nà àbá. ńbẹ ní kẹ́ kọjá yín lọ o can you imagine that. so Àkàndá ló rọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu bíi tejò bọ́mọ bàtàn yẹ kó bá àrọ́bá ní í ṣe bàbá fún tàn. ọ̀rọ̀ Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ lẹ́gbọ̀n o bá ṣe mọ́ tú táǹkọ̀ kejì fúnra wa nu kó lè wọ̀n rẹ́kọ̀d. Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ ti sọ́ngbà náà ó ti pẹ́ inú ìwé ìròyìn ló ti jáde kò sẹ́ni tí yóò sọ jáde ká lè bá a gbọ́ àwọn ọmọ báyìí mu wá ní kọ̀ọ̀kan èjèèjì bí ṣe ń ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run kọ́kànlé wà lákọọ́lẹ̀ ni. God bless you all àná Ọlọ́run àlàyé ní fi ń sílẹ̀ láìkì kẹ́ follow page mi lórí Facebook Awikonko TV ẹ subscribe sí YouTube channel mi Awikonko TV. bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wà ní nǹkan pàtàkì tẹ́ fẹ́ kájọ sọ ẹ já sọ̀rọ̀ lórí WhatsApp +234 904 851 9362 +234 904 851 9362. mo wà lórí Instagram o Àkàndá ọ̀rọ̀ lórí Instagram mo wà lórí Twitter Awikonko TV mo wà lórí lórúkọ TikTok Àkàndá ọ̀rọ̀ Awikonko àbí Awikonko TV ẹ sábà ń bẹ̀. so ikú ò ní pa wá ìsùn ní sí wa lọ́jọ́ òótọ́ a máa korò bọ́mọ ìyá méjì bá wọ yẹ̀wò tí wọ́n jáde padà tí wọ́n lọ sọ̀rọ̀ ojú wọn ni kẹ́ ti káàṣì ọ̀rọ̀ tán sọ bọ́n bá rẹ́rìn jáde àwàdà wọn sínú ilé bójú wọn bá korò tó korò bí ìjogbo òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ wọn bára wọn sọ òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ la ní abára wa sọ the earlier the better tíran Yorùbá bá wá ìwé ẹ̀yìn wò tàbá jí kò nínú oorun wa oorun lè lásùn o àní tójú oorun dójú kú àní tìbùsùn débójì àní tójú àláwọ̀ ọ̀run láyọ̀ la máa gbọ́ra wa láyọ̀ la máa ríra wa láyọ̀ láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o láyọ̀ láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o a ò ní fojú ogun a ò ní fẹsẹ̀ kọ mọ́tò tí a bá sì wọ̀ kò ní forí sọ̀gì láyọ̀ láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o bye gàrí o God bless you all. ilé tìyá kan dààmú relé mi o bye bye. ilé mọ̀ ìyá ìyẹ̀rú ọ̀kìn mo ti ń lọ ó dàbọ̀.